Alright, hey guys, welcome to another Ikigai podcast.
Woo!
Yeah!
Look at NPCs. This is episode 27. I'm Kevin. I'm here with...
Hi, my name's An.
What's up, Brian here?
Hey, Ryan again.
And yeah, we missed 2 months of uploads.
I think so, yeah.
No, we have one out in March. We just missed April.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
So, whatever.
Okay,
we
yeah.
missed
But,
a month.
To catch some things up, first of all, we hit 700 subscribers.
Yeah, let's go! That was
And-
cool. Just that's it. So,
And
Thank you so
yeah.
much. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Obviously, new viewers are coming in all the time, but for the ones that have been staying with us for a while, we appreciate you.
Yep.
don't worry, Brian will make a Girls on Panzer video.
Yeah,
eventually.
Let's go!
Eventually I will.
But,
it's still in the works.
this podcast might go very long, so we're gonna speed things up. We're gonna cut this into different sections here. We're gonna first start off with what we've been watching, what we've been doing, really quickly.
Mhm.
And then a Suzume. We're gonna talk about Suzume for the rest of the episode. We're gonna have a non-spoiler one, what we think about it, and then we're gonna go straight into spoiler stuff. So all of that will be in the timestamps below, whatever they call it. So.
If you
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
gone to watch it yet,
The chapters,
like
yeah.
you can definitely stay around for the non-spoiler section. But if you want to really understand the discussion we have, just go and watch it. Like, I know it might not be in theaters by the time we release this,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but
It
it's
is
okay.
released.
Someone probably ripped it. I would say wait for the Blu-ray to come out
Yeah.
That's gonna be a while.
and buy it. In
It's not that long. It's like 3 months after release.
So
Oh,
still
really?
good.
Yeah.
I don't know
Mhm.
anything about this.
It's usually 3 months after.
Yeah, but anyways, you want to start with what you've been watching, what you've been doing?
What I've been doing, mostly schoolwork. Like, it's been killing me. But I've been involved in a lot of film scoring recently for my film for the school. So there's a bunch of that going on that I finished, and then it was just finals week, and yeah, just a lot of finals and assignments to catch up on.
Yep. Same thing with me. I've been because I have film classes now and I have production, so I've been working on a film. It's really bad. You guys don't want to see it. I edited a trailer for a film for our school, which is super cool, but it was not the best film at all. So
Yeah.
but I don't want to go on a tangent. But again, we haven't uploaded for like a month, 2 months, mainly because April, May is the big stuff, especially because I have projects to work on. Those are usually my finals. It's not like written exams and stuff like that. And Japanese has been killing me, so
Yeah.
But we have a lot of things planned. I don't know when we're gonna upload things, but we do have things to upload, things to do. So yeah, and of course, if you guys keep up with seasonal stuff, I've been watching stuff like Yamada-san, the Konosuba stuff,
Yep.
and stuff like that. So.
Skips and Loafers is really good.
Oh, I love Skips and
Skips and
Loafers.
Loafers. Go watch it.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
slice.
I heard good things about it, yeah. For me, it's part of the workforce. I've just been working, let's see. So I guess my excuse is that, at least for not being as active, is because it's getting closer to summer for what my job implies. It usually gets busier around this time, but because once it turns into summer, I'll be more free. I am planning on doing a stream some point just to, get that going again, because that's been dead for a while, and I'd like to resuscitate that. I've also been working on, aside from the other scripts like Girls and Panzer and just other analysis scripts that I've been thinking of writing, also been working on a super secret project. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but maybe one day, hopefully within the year, maybe not.
A year or two.
We'll see,
Hey,
yeah, a year or
there's
two,
delay.
definitely.
Delays.
But yeah, that's what I've mainly been focused on, just work and that. As for anime though, I've been surprisingly keeping up with quite a few. Konosuba, as Kevin and I have been doing that together. I've been watching what was it called? Hell's Paradise, which is really cool.
Yes!
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've been
It's
waiting
really-
forever because I was we'll go on a tangent about this later.
Mhm.
Like I've been caught up with the manga. I was there when it released.
Day one.
I was there all the way through. Oh
Yeah,
my.
yeah.
And okay, this is a bit of a side tangent, but the author, the mangaka, also released another one Ashiamon, I think it's about like yokai
Oh,
and yakuza.
yeah.
Sadly, got axed, which made me really sad because I really like the setup. But the short series of that one's out on like Manga Plus. I think if you're interested, it's just a nice read. So.
Yeah. One other one. It was like The Dangers of My Heart or something. I forgot.
Yes.
That was just a cute one. Like I almost don't watch. I feel kind of bad because I almost don't watch it seriously. I just like. I'm just there. Just
No,
like,
it's nice though.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
It's not out yet.
No, not yet.
I feel like I'm missing like one or two, but yeah, that's mostly what I've been keeping up with, at least off the top of my head. So yeah, Ryan, what's up?
Yeah. Well, same thing. Busy with the workforce, coming closer to the summer. Gets picked up. People are more free. Vacation time for all families. So they're making
That's
it
right,
work.
guys. Stop going on vacation.
Yeah.
For anime wise, kept up with Witch of Mercury when every time that drops.
Yeah.
Man, I think, and I've just been trying to catch up with Trigun. Like, I've been watching Trigun.
I need to finish that.
Yeah.
I'm watching the OG Trigun, not the Stampede.
The Stampede's really nice.
I'm trying to watch the first Trigun and then compare it to Stampede. Stampede's its own beast. I think it's, from what I've seen, I really like the style. CGI looks very nice. The movement is natural.
Such a solid CGI.
The movement and facial animation are so natural and it just works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like it. So, hopefully I get to watch more anime. Maybe catch up on Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other one, Demon Slayer. That's the one I've been watching.
Season,
yeah, that's another one. Yeah, it's pretty good so far.
Oh my god, yeah.
We gotta watch Ocean Nicole. I'm waiting for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We gotta watch it. Like, that's
finals
the number
finish.
one. Once finals finish, but that's the number one thing we have to watch.
We're gonna watch
That'll probably
that.
be the next podcast,
Yeah.
just
Like,
about Ocean Nicole.
I was so surprised. A coworker came up to me and asked me if I watched it yet, and straight up said he cried to it, and I was like,
Was
Was
that
the
good?
first episode?
yeah. Huh? Yeah, first episode. He cried.
It's
I
an
mean-
hour 40.
Yeah.
I mean, basically it's a
too.
movie. I'm caught up with the. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sort of caught up with them. I need to catch up,
Like,
but the manga.
And then the week after, he was like, "Yeah, have you watched it yet?" I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
yeah." So yeah.
But
So I was really surprised when he came up to me and asked that.
And he said,
That
I
one's
cried
taking-
to this.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Taking by the storm because there's all that memes about like them overthrowing. Full Metal
I
Alchemist.
I don't know
Oh,
anything. Yeah, oh, okay.
I thought you were gonna spoil like a plot line. I was like,
know,
It's,
Yeah.
it's like that whole meme with like everyone like downvote all
Yeah.
the Full Metal Alchemist people who downvotes like number one.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny, but I mean, Mao does not equate quality.
True,
It's
absolutely.
just
true.
Wait,
If I have anything to say about it, every time I look, I see like, yeah, this is a good show. I am never looking at Mal again because I see the stuff people say about it and it's just wrong.
Me
Okay, I'm gonna
looking
say
at
it.
Violet
Fuck you all
Evergarden.
who like say
Yeah.
random shit. Like Spy Classroom was the shit, and I see people like writing garbage
Okay,
about it. And it
small
gets me so
tangent,
mad.
dude.
Yeah.
people who hate who hate Mama Haha and write reviews on Mal, they are just stupid, dude.
True.
I hate those
yeah.
reviews because like it's valid to hate the show,
Mhm.
but the reasons why they hate it is just like, are you? It makes me mad.
Yeah, it
because
does.
it's like it's no.
Yeah, because they don't understand why they hate it. That's the thing, right?
They just hate it.
Like yeah.
How
But it's
does
like
that work?
you come to our level and you just come to love everything in
Our
our
level.
show, right? Like no, like seriously, right? Like
I kinda just
it's
watch
kind of
it.
hard to hate shows even though we hate them, right? Because we know
still
how much.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Mhm.
like what's a really bad one we watched?
Like-
Steamboat.
Yeah, Steamboat.
That's a
Like,
movie. That's a movie.
yeah, it's a
I-
movie, but still, like we hated it, but it was like
It's
in a
really
funny
funny.
way.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
we memed on
Yeah.
that one.
We're like,
Yeah.
hold
The
on,
dog, bro.
10 chapters in the credit, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Why is this guy like a superhero now?
Yeah, but like again, it's like I think my point still stands that like we just don't hate things, you know?
We just have a certain preference for anime.
Yeah.
But we
We
do
need-
hate reviewers.
Yeah, we do. we,
And
that we do.
we're review.
But that's hypocrisy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't stand for that.
We'll just say
20 years later.
you pointing fingers
They're
against
gonna
the future
pull
self.
the video.
Yeah.
Let's just say,
After all.
just enjoy what you enjoy. Don't, if you don't
hate
enjoy
on-
something,
don't hate on other people.
don't
for
hate on
enjoying
it.
what
Yeah,
they
don't-
do,
yeah.
you know?
just let someone enjoy what they enjoy. You enjoy what you enjoy. You
hate
do
it,
what you
you
do.
know, you
Just
hate it.
And
don't
I
bring other
do
people
like
down.
aside like this is like a side quest. If you hate something, find out why you hate it as well. Like actually like delve deep into it because you learn actually quite a lot about not only the work but about
Yeah.
yourself.
And if you're a normie watching this, or like a person who doesn't care, Why are you watching this podcast?
Yeah.
How'd you find us?
Yeah.
How'd you get here?
I mean, hey, live your life, you know? It's all good.
Live your
I mean, I'm happy.
Subscribers goes 700 to 2.
No, but we
Well,
need to talk about like
we're-
anime in like such a weird way.
We do, yeah.
We celebrate way too early for that 700, huh? Alright.
But anyways,
let's get back.
Let's go.
Suzume.
Suzume.
Okay.
Suzume.
Let's start with how we think about it. No spoilers. Let's
Yeah.
go down the line again, and then we can.
You start over here.
Yeah.
You guys, it's fresh off your minds.
Oh my.
No spoilers.
No spoilers? Damn.
No.
It's gonna be hard, but
Yo, I'm
That's hard. Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
tough.
I mean, just like
Um,
general impressions.
Man, they were Makoto Shinkai's back at it again.
Yeah.
I'll say it again.
Man's
Makoto Shinkai.
You can quote me every time in a video. I always say they're back at it again.
Yeah.
Makoto Shinkai's back at it again. Sound design, big thing. Music, amazing. I don't know what to say. What do I say? Visually,
Say
Yeah, animation.
Say one word. Sum it up in one word. Your emotion.
There it is.
breathtaking.
Yeah.
Breathtaking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna put. For
No, you're.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry. That's
But yeah,
old. That's old.
for me, one word for that movie: breathtaking.
Yeah.
Your turn, sir.
Yeah. Okay, permit me to use a few more than just one word for this. And I think I speak for all of us when I say this is Shinkai's best masterpiece to date. So, yeah. I'll say that.
Damn, bro. Damn, bro. No,
got
no.
me crying up.
Okay.
Yeah, my man cried over here, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I was gonna save him for the spoiler part. Okay.
Nice.
Well, we'll explain.
But-
We'll do it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I was fucking bawling my eyes out. That the first time I watched, and then even the second time I cried a little bit still.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys watched it twice. I'm the only one who's only watched it once.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
go tomorrow.
This is 3. This is 1, 2, 2.
We'll go tomorrow, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
catch up.
keep in mind that like we don't go to theaters often.
Yeah.
If
No.
at all.
Yeah,
right?
no, like the last time we went to a theater like
Kaguya.
together.
For
No,
us it
for
was
you
Kaguya.
guys it was Kaguya. For me it was like
Jujutsu Kaisen Zero.
Jujutsu
Kaisen
Kaisen Zero, yeah.
and Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
The movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those were the last times, and that was like on release, so like a year ago almost. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
No,
for-
actually a year ago. Yeah.
for us to like go watch it twice, and keep in mind like we watched this in like April something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 27th I think or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it
at
on
a different
release,
time by
like the
myself.
week it released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we came back. Today's like May, so
Mhm. So,
we watched it again.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's breathtaking. It's a masterpiece. And my word,
Mhm.
what will be my word? It's it's somehow it's a spectacle. I guess I'll say.
Mm. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
Especially if
yeah.
you watch the opening scene. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. True.
Yeah, just that opening sequence was.
That was. Yeah.
Alright, I guess my turn.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Funny, very funny. I was the first one out of us to watch it, and I went on our group chat, and I'm like, y'all, you gotta watch it.
Gotta pull up.
Yeah.
Pull up and watch it. And then, I mean, they were like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't.
We weren't
Was that the
expecting
fir-
the
was-
the masterpiece. That's the thing. Yeah.
Was I the first to go, and then these two went?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
went
it.
without
Mhm.
us first. If I had to put it in one word, journey.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
yeah,
that's-
that's a very
That's
good
pretty
word.
good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And I'm a sucker for sound design because, God,
Sound design, dude.
Yeah.
immaculate. It's
Mhm.
who design. I was trying to read the credit. It was hard because it was scrolling fast and it was all in Japanese.
Yeah.
But I need to find out because I know who the composer is. Obviously,
We know who the
Yeah.
is.
I actually looked back and there's a sound effects credit that's like literally right after like
Oh shoot! What
it's like literally like one of the big ones.
Mhm.
So I forgot the name.
well,
Yeah.
time to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna go back and
Yeah,
watch
I think
it.
it's funny because we all like appreciate like very specific things about this movie as well. Like I believe you two was like sound design, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
like I don't know. That's the first.
I
thing
mean,
that
that's like
popped out
the
to me.
easiest thing to look at because like it's so right up
That's
front.
true. Yeah.
But, like,
That's true.
This is not to demean that the sound like
Okay.
the sound design was literally like S
Yes,
here,
okay.
absolutely.
and then everything else is like also like
Yeah.
It's so funny though because when people when I mean like it's kind of weird because there's like for me there's this I'm like going back and forth with like listening versus hearing.
Yeah.
Which is like, very arbitrary, like kind of like, oh well this word actually means this.
Yeah.
Well, it's like for me as a musician, there's like active listening versus just passively hearing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like in movies you can really enjoy it if you're just passively hearing stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like the sound design is not supposed to I'm going to reword that. The sound design is not supposed to be the focus. It's supposed to elevate whatever the story is supposed to tell.
That's what it did.
But damn, did it take the front stage. Like,
Dude,
so many
that's
times.
true. Yeah.
I think that's like the most amazing thing is that it took the front stage and like you're literally like it felt like you're in like a Foley booth, right? That's Foley sounds, right?
Well, Foley Studio.
Oh
A
yeah,
Foley
like,
studio.
Yeah, right.
And like you would think that would take you out because it's just like that's not realistic, but oh my god, it just works.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just does.
Absolutely.
And oh god.
I just remember clearly when it was just clear. It was like there was no visual yet. It was just a sound. I can remember hearing the sounds. It was giving me a sense of where I would be. I was like, I didn't even close my eyes. I just remember feeling like, where am I? Where would I be? What am I hearing? And then my brain just thought, this is where you are. And then boom, the visual
Yeah.
comes
I mean,
in.
that's exactly what you want. That's the goal of the sound design.
Yeah.
Is to be able to tell a
it made
story
me feel like
and
I was
help
there too.
the person be in the world.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
what it did to me. I was
That
just
person
like,
did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yo, I remember hearing the wind, and then I had a jacket with me. I put that jacket on. Like I just remember I was hearing it. Then the visual popped into my brain, and I got shivers, and I put my jacket on.
Yeah.
And I just sat down like it's not really. I don't want to say sensory overload. It's more just like they really like pulled me into the world.
Yeah.
That's what it did to me.
Yeah.
Like I literally felt like I'm going through wherever the start was.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to say something because like I saw this while like looking at like stuff. I don't know. This is technically not a spoiler, and it doesn't really fucking matter. But they don't use the theme song too often.
Yeah.
But and I know some people are like, man, I wish they used more Rad Whip songs, right? But like it's so weird because like if I'm like recalling the movie, I still hear the theme.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, the Suzume's theme is haunting. Like it's gonna like be in my dreams forever, I swear.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing because like you have the song and the trailer that has the song, and then you have the film, and it's like two like different class waves,
Yes.
you know? But they still combine to like make something so cool. And I think you should be on the lookout for AMVs. Suzume AMVs with the themes.
Yeah.
So like Mads and stuff like that. Because dude, I can't wait to see what people do when combining those two.
Yeah.
And like especially with the scenes that are in the film.
Yeah.
Oh, like I can hear it already.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I can't wait for
Yeah,
those.
not to delve into the spoiler section, but there's a whole scene that synced with the theme song.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
God, it was 10 out of 10. Whoa, for me, 10 out of 10.
Hey, 10 out of 10 here, baby.
Yeah, true.
10
I
out
know,
of
like
10 for me.
what is it? Weathering with You was your 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was. I have a what's it? I have an interesting relationship between this movie and Weathering with You now, though, as a result.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can't rank them above each other, you know?
No, I feel like
they're
both of
both equally good for what they're trying to say and what they're trying to do.
do have a small bias with Weathering with You just because I think in terms of scale and like visual, Weathering with You was amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
yeah.
fair.
And I feel like for Suzume, sound and music.
Sound and no, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
Because
so,
I'll
too.
be completely honest, I don't remember a lot of soundtrack off the top of my head from
Weathering with You.
Weathering with You.
Because
Yeah.
the thing with Weathering with You is that they kind of repeat the there's like the theme song. They kind of repeat that like motif that they have in there.
Yeah.
A lot, which is it's not a bad thing.
No,
But
yeah,
it-
it works for a movie. Yeah.
Especially like with the songs. I mean, like when you hear "Grand Escape" and then
Yeah,
you like
Grand-
you can see the scene that goes
Yeah.
with it. Same thing with like "Your Name," right?
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Did you know that we almost had a LGBTQ movie with Suzume?
Really?
I
That would've
believe.
been
I
interesting.
believe
Yeah.
the Sota was
Sota.
supposed to be a woman.
Oh,
would've been interesting.
Oh, that would have been. Really,
yeah, that would have been. Yeah.
I mean, look, you can disagree with me, but I think that's kind of fire.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm
It
just
works.
wondering why they decide to make
I don't
him
know.
male.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like That's
they'll
way-
probably.
that's
figure it
another.
out.
Okay, here's another thing. This is like a very small gripe, in my opinion. I'm gonna go into a bit of like what I
More
didn't
tangents.
like about it. At the same time, I feel like they didn't focus on romance that much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
more like for Suzume, it was more of the infatuation of someone who's older than her. But at the same time, the whole time, I was like, she's in high school. He's like 22.
Yeah.
That's like, I think it's if he's this.
It was hard,
He's
you know.
like I think he's
Yeah,
20.
I think
he's
Kevin and
20.
I have-
He's
Well, I
almost
mean-
graduating.
Yeah.
No,
He's
they're
ready.
technically only 5 years apart.
Yeah, 5 years.
Which
but
is
at
like,
the same-
That's still-
it's
that's still-
weird when you put into context of like high school and a college student.
Yeah.
But like in real life, like 5 years isn't like
Yeah.
that much.
There's
But,
still-
But yes.
for
Mhm.
high
Yes,
school,
it
they're
is.
in different stage of life because he was going. Oh, actually,
Oh yeah, what's what?
he
Yeah.
was moving to another stage of life. She is still in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that they didn't focus on the whole romance thing. It was
Yeah.
it was much more one sided, which was it's like a little kid saying, "I want to marry you" to like an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Which
like,
I was-
adorable.
I was really glad because it was just like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
one thing that sometimes took me out because I'm like, oh god, they're in
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
stages of
Mhm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
I think second time watch through it appeared that way, but I'll talk about this in the spoiler section.
Uh-huh.
Why at the end of the movie I kind of like was it was fine. It
You
worked. for me.
reconciled with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was much more like it was very one sided. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Mhm.
Sota understood his position.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
get that
You
too.
know,
Yeah.
it was
Mhm.
fine, but you know, that was just a very small thing for me.
Yeah.
Other people might disagree, and that's
Mhm.
fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
other than that, all right, should we go into?
I do want to talk about one
Go
thing
for
real
it.
quick because it's like
Go.
it treads into spoiler territory, but like it's pretty much
It's a
like
segue,
not.
it's a
yeah,
segue.
Yeah.
Segue.
So it's about the writing, right? That's what I really focused on. This as a writer, of course, I have to focus on it.
I wonder why.
Just the narrative in general because it's just so it's so good as well. Because what's it? Shinkai did the screenplay, right? Basically,
Pretty
He wrote
sure.
it.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
His name's
Yeah,
on
yeah. So
I'll make sure.
I don't know how he manages to fucking do it every time. Like and he's because the idea from what I remember, people always like talk about Shinkai being like, oh, it's the girl meets boy story kind of deal, right? And how like in a way it's supposed to insinuate that's stale, but it's like he always does something new with it. He always like ups the tempo and ups the
Turns it up.
yeah. He changes it in a way that makes it really interesting,
He
even though it's
switches
like
it
the
up.
same like base.
Someone
And it's-
wrote the script. Someone else wrote the script.
Oh
You see?
yeah, okay.
This guy.
Here's the.
Oh, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel Pettini. Damn,
This guy.
So Emmanuel
he's
Pettini.
French.
Martini
Yeah,
wrote the script for it.
He wrote the script.
yeah.
What about the sound?
Or is it script in French?
Oh.
Oh,
Because it just says script right here. You see it?
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a script.
Read.
Episode.
see,
episode.
we do
I guess we're gonna go on this
Sound right
trip.
there
now.
is okay. There's a sound.
Because it's on my phone, so it doesn't say the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, right here. Yeah, he original created screenplay
Yeah,
Shinkai,
screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shinkai.
and then Emmanuel wrote the script. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's I guess it's like yeah. So they worked on it together basically, but yeah, because like he addresses a lot of ideas in such a crazy way as well.
Mhm.
And that's something I love about writing. It's that you can manipulate the narrative to say a whole bunch of things and whatever like you want to focus on in a way. And it's something I'm like slowly now learning with writers. We're all and just like directors and stuff, just artists in general, we're all obsessive. but in a fun, interesting way, right? Like just to like throw out on a tangent, Naoko Yamada, right? She focuses a lot on slice of life, but more specifically about like I guess the shoujo life in a way,
Yeah.
and
Kinda
that idea of youth.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It's kind of like coming of age, but not.
Yeah, and then like
It's coming of something,
Mhm.
you know, usually.
and Shinkai, man's over here, he addresses disasters, girl meets boy stories, and something else I'm forgetting right now. But he loves to focus on those. Ignore that. Let's see. Yeah. And he'll. How do I put this? There are quite a few references to disasters and stuff, and he just loves doing that. He loves adding that like traditional aspect, like Japanese like cultural aspects into it too. And it's like, how does he do it? You know,
He just does.
That was another haunting sound effect that happened. The earthquake alarm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes,
dude.
yes.
I mean, like, imagine. I think if you're Japanese, that haunts you even more.
Yeah.
Especially
But it
if
makes
you,
me-
like.
Can you imagine being in theater and like
Yeah.
going off for the first time?
Imagine you're in theaters and it goes like actually goes off.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But
Nah.
what like fascinates me even more so about like this specifically, right? And I guess this is where we get into spoil. Well, not really because it's shown in the trailer. The moving chair, right? Firstly, how does one think of that? Like genuinely, who thinks like chair and it moves and it's a childhood thing?
Dude, Pro
And-
CD
yeah.
would go crazy.
Yeah,
He would.
the furniture anime. But I focus on that so hard because it's like, it's exactly what anime does. The fact that it just takes a random idea and it just works. And no one bats an eye. Like, let's be real, no one's questioning here why there's a talking chair, right? Or why specifically a chair, right? They just like go with it and it works. Like,
Yeah.
beautifully works.
I remember. I didn't see the trailer.
Like, a talking cat, like, and it's like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's like, it genuinely blows my mind that people just find ideas that don't make sense and turn it into masterpieces.
Okay.
You know?
I have another question.
Yeah.
To segue into spoilers now. Spoiler section. If you
Starting now?
Yeah.
Start.
Pretty much.
Go watch it if you don't want to be spoiled. But
Form your own
thoughts
opinion.
on the first appearance and fall of the worm.
Oh my god.
Dude, okay,
Oh.
yeah. Really, I have something to say as a writer now, but yeah, you guys go first.
Dude, okay, that sound design of the worm falling is so good.
Yes, yes.
It's like this, like, I don't know how you make that, because it's like this rumbling.
It's a
like,
primal. Like it insinuates like a primal fear.
Yeah, yes.
Because obviously low frequency. It's like that whole thing about like dinosaurs might have just didn't roar. They probably just emit a low frequency.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
just,
yeah.
You can
I've heard
feel
of that,
it
yeah.
before you even hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, oh my god, it's like something because I feel like it's something primal. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
instinctual. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, this is not good.
Also,
That's not good.
okay, also one more thing before, like, I let you guys talk, is that when it, like, the golden things, when they, like,
Just
come out of
reds.
the ground.
Like,
Yeah,
the
oh,
whole
Yeah,
yeah.
the
theme
go-
play.
it's so weird because, like, you associate gold and, like that, like, line, right? With, like, something like, oh, it's good, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Yellow is
Yeah.
good, you know? Like,
It's heavenly, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then when you see it go up to this red thing, it's like this sort of, like, oh god, you know, like,
Yeah.
Because
it's...
I don't know. It's so much of like, this is not an inherently evil thing. This thing is just chaos embodied.
It's just an acting on.
It's
I don't know
just
how to
doing what it does.
It's
Yeah.
doing its own. It's doing what it's naturally doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the whole idea of like the Eldritch
Yeah.
stuff,
Mhm.
where it's like it does not care that you're here. It does not care that you have your own
It
life.
does not
It just
have-
simply does.
does.
It just does.
things, Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's genuinely, yeah. Whenever it comes with animes and movies, the first, as we all know, the first 3 episodes often determine what makes an anime good, right? There's some complicated things about that. But the thing is, it works because it's not only what captures you, but it's supposed to bring in exposition. It's supposed to do all the important things to let a viewer into the movie. And Shinkai and everyone who took a part in this movie fucking nails it. Because it's just a genius bout of narrative right there. Because it lets us know what this character is about. It lets us know what the situation is, what they're going to be doing for the movie and stuff like this, or at least what's going to happen in the movie. It foreshadows many things. It does everything that a beginning part should, and it's brilliant. It even, like, the fact that you even have, like, the stakes already, like, planted down, right? Like, normally, right? You had that worm thing, and, like, oh yeah, it either like just goes away or just completely like obliterates a city, right?
I have something to add.
But he's like,
after
it's
you.
an in between that lets us know that it could be worse, but they did save a lot of people, right? And they did it in a way that's like, oh yeah, we're gonna be seeing this a lot, or we're gonna see variations of it even.
Yeah.
It's such a good foundation that lets you. That's something that you could rewatch and be like, yeah, this is fucking cool. But also is the jumping off point for every other cool thing that's gonna happen in this movie.
Yeah, like for me, you bringing it up was a really good point because, that worm only fell in the first view.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's setting up, which I'm jumping the gun a bit, and we can always go. We can go back to actually talking about it.
Yeah.
But we see the worm fall once, and then the earthquake happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, shit, this is bad.
We are processing.
And then we see Tokyo.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then it's
Dude,
like, okay, we can have a whole discussion about the Tokyo
Let's go.
scene,
Let's
but
wait.
like,
Let's
let's
wait.
focus on the opening. But it's just like the music works so well with it.
Yes.
Like, up to like shutting the door, locking it, and then titles.
Dude,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
What I realized, I mean, maybe you guys realized it, right?
Mhm.
But like, I subconsciously did. But then, like, second viewing time, you can see it. But like, they always have the same shot when locking the door. Besides at the very end, right? Where like you stab it in and then it's close up and then turn, and like it's that very snappy, like 1, 2.
Yeah.
Like every single time.
Every single time there's any locking and unlocking mechanism, the sound is very snappy and
Yeah.
loud. It's like the bike was the first one.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Holy
Yes.
shit.
And
I
you
just realized that, yeah.
Anything that she's locking, there's always that first scene.
There's the door.
Until
the door,
Until we get to the
Oh
very
my
end
God,
where it
yeah.
slows down and we can see the actual animation.
Yeah.
And the sound is so, again, like
It's
we
so
said,
good.
it's so
I
good.
don't so snappy,
I don't
yeah.
know how.
It's honestly addicting, yeah. Now that I think about it.
Oh,
It's literally ASMR in a way.
Yeah. Not to mention the world building is great. Like, because what's interesting about it is that obviously the world is real. You could probably visit these places. But it adds so much intrigue with the way they not only write but showcase it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like the abandoned, for example, right, the abandoned areas of Japan. Those are real places, and there's real history behind it, which is something that's like just brilliant to add. It feels so good because it's like you could tell both Shinkai, the writers, the animators, everyone, they get what like these are, what the story they're supposed to tell, and how they're going to like draw out these like kind of emotions.
Yeah.
And the
Haikyuu,
I guess the
right?
situations when it comes to these places, right?
Yeah.
Because Haikyuu is a real problem with Japan.
Yeah.
So like there's a bundle of like just
Yeah,
inherent
like the fact that you could
Japanese
unwrap a
parts.
lot of social like things about it. Again, I'm not like a social studies guy or anything,
You're not an expert.
but like, goddamn, is it cool to like see people like reach out to bring those up.
And I think
further.
the most important part with why this, like, because the beginning is very like, it's very big in what it's trying to tell.
Yes.
Already at the start with like this is the only time we feel the earthquake happen.
Oh.
Well, technically no, but
Well,
in Tokyo we see it a little bit. But
yeah.
just the worm being there.
yeah, and
so-
dropping, and then we see the bathhouse, right? The ruins, and that's like the biggest ruins we've seen, like the entire series, right?
Yeah.
And like you can see, like there's like so many houses. It's literally like a Studio Ghibli, like a Spirited Away. It's like that big of a thing, right? Where like
The
it's-
abandoned village.
it's
yeah.
the
a whole
entire
village.
part of the village just gone.
Yeah.
And then we don't ever see like that massive scale again, which shows that like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's like already you have this massive scale, yet the story's just beginning.
Yeah, and it's in a way like you see this happen on a massive scale, and you can only imagine what's going to happen on smaller scales, but also like upon small scale like people lives, you know. And it's also another thing as well, something that they subconsciously interconnect and set up, is the fact that the movie is very much about little lives as well, and they do it in a way that like feels really adventurous, which is like such a beautiful thing, because it's like, yeah, this person's on an adventure, right, and they're like going through all these places basically to save the entirety of Japan, right?
Yeah.
But it's like on the way, it's like you get to see what people are up to, the different little lives and kind of things they do. And it's it's like it's a slice of life definitely, but it feels so much more than that because it's like she also takes a part in their lives. She sees what she's like kind of going around for, but also not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's super subtle.
I love that.
It's super like.
It's great that you mentioned that because it's funny how how she starts her journey, right? She starts in her hometown. What I remember is she starts. Well, I'm just doing like a whole long.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.
So hometown, fishing, the fishing village.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Like the first thing, like, oh, what's her home? What? Because her aunt works with the fishermen.
Yeah.
The one fisherman, I forgot what his name was.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah. Because he says hi. He says hi to her as she's leaving, and when she lands, she runs into Chica, who helps with the orange farm.
Yeah.
And then she works at an inn, like a small little inn.
Yeah.
And then she's done with that, and then when she tries to get to Kobe, she stops there. She meets the mom with 2 kids.
The hostess.
She runs a little hostess bar.
Yeah.
And it's cute. Yeah, and then when she goes over, then she eventually reaches Tokyo. The little shopkeepers.
Yeah.
She shopkeeps, and then she also meets the Sota's friend.
Yeah, Suzume.
Yeah.
He's cool.
He's funny. I love
Great.
Great.
He's so cool.
I just love that. It just shows that it's just weird. Like no matter where you go, people are living their lives.
Yeah.
And it's like it's something. You're right. Something about that journey is just great. No matter where you go, there's gonna be people
because
doing
it's
their
like
own thing.
yeah, the normal like idea behind Journey is like beginning, like epic stuff happens, end, right? But it's like
It's simple.
it's just very simple and it's like
to add
with
to
less
that,
in a way.
one of my favorite soundtrack name is Time for Two.
Oh.
And that was when Chica and her was cleaning up the bathhouse and having.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like it just it humanizes interaction
Yeah.
very much.
But again, it also interconnects because that's what the whole idea behind the disasters of each like area is, because it's like you connect not only these little lives with her journey, but it's also connecting with the conflict itself and the source of the conflict, that being like basically left behind memories of abandoned places, right?
Which is so interesting.
Yeah, which is so good.
And this is like kind of like thinking about it in the broader sense, and shout out to a YouTube comment here, by the way, how like they kind of define the film as like a road trip movie.
Yes,
which is like such a cool thing to say for a movie that is supernatural and drama.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Pretty good.
It literally is a
and then building upon that, it's like I'm gonna like skip because we're gonna talk about this more later, especially like when we're talking about the end of the movie, where like they write trauma so well and like they hide it so well as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that, what I find also amazing is that this is a story about a hero that doesn't know that they're a hero and doesn't care to be a hero.
Yeah.
Which is like super interesting.
Yeah.
It's a hero that doesn't want to be a hero.
Yeah.
And when you like think about it in that way, it's so weird, right?
Yeah.
And then you get to see that like her main motivation is literally only Soto, right?
Yeah, Soto.
And then when you realize that it's like an infatuation, and then it's a minor and an adult, it's kind of weird. But when you get to the end of the movie, it makes sense. I'll brief it by saying like Soto is like the main reason why she gets over her trauma. We'll talk about that later, right?
Okay, yeah, I see that though. Yeah, I know what you mean with that.
Again,
it's like more rather she faces her trauma.
Yes.
Because we can get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's.
We say it.
I don't want to skip because it looks like we're going to chronological order, right?
Yeah.
But like it's amazing because like when you think about this hero's journey, right, as a circle, right?
They call it the action there.
Yeah, but like the thing is that like this movie doesn't feel like a hero's journey at all, or follows that step, even though it probably does, right?
Yeah.
But because she doesn't intend to be a hero at all, and we see that in the Tokyo scene where like she's going to kill millions of people probably.
She's breaking down.
She holds millions of people in her hand.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like 50 million people.
She didn't ask for it. That's what she
Yeah.
said. This is not what I wanted at all.
Yeah, I just remembered something as well. You mentioned about the romance thing. Before this podcast, I really wanted to do a little bit of research into what the writing process was and what Makoto had the idea. I pulled up a little something here where it's like some guy asked about like the girl meets boy story and what the and if that's just like a device or what what Suzume is really about. But Shinkai says that it's not a love story in the same way Your Name was. It's about how a victim of this disaster that really happened, the Great East Japan earthquake, rediscovers her past self and moves on. And so these boy meets girl scenes are a way into that and a way of making the film fun. And that's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Shinkai? Like in a funny way. Because the same question I forgot to mention, the same question also addressed the fact that trauma was being added to this girl meets boy story. So it's like, there's another mix into that. But it's like, it's not only the fact that Shinkai is like thinking about, again, I'm just gonna say Shinkai, but I also mean like the entirety of the cast, okay? Not only is he thinking about like the inner workings of like what this trauma means, what disaster means and stuff like that within this story, but also just ways to make it fun and engaging in a way that he feels is like going to, I guess, not easy, but like engage with himself and with everyone else so that it works into what it's supposed to do. It being nice, funny, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. And that's like, again, that's like really, what's the word for it? I guess heartwarming, that it's like, that he's just like, yeah, I'm just, it's fun.
And I also just love how like her journey was made possible through people who just showed kindness in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're like, okay, well, you can stay here free of charge, just help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially the mom, like all of them were concerned for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really nice just watching it. I think, but then like the ending was really cool too. After credit scenes where she visits all of them again.
Yeah.
Goes back.
It's so nice to see that, man. That's what an end credit scene does. What's it?
Better than Steamboy.
An end credit scene really should tie up loose ends in the best way it can,
Mm-hmm. Oh, his name is Minoru. I remember the fisherman.
His
name's Minoru. He had the lobster, the crawfish in his hands.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. I find it so interesting that Suzume is like really the key star for this entire movie, right? Because like you would think it's Suzume and Soto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sota. Also for people who like are watching this part of the podcast but still like doesn't care about spoilers and just like watching the podcast and haven't watched the film, the chair and Sota are the same person, by the way.
Yeah.
He gets transformed.
I'm pretty sure there is a trailer that reveals that.
There is a trailer that reveals that, but if you watch the Crunchyroll one, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll one actually revealed. I thought it revealed. Because the thing is, they made the trailer so action-packed. I'm like, man, they showed the climax. They only showed the beginning.
I know! Which is so good. It's such a good trailer! Because it doesn't show literally, like,
everything.
It shows only the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And that's what a trailer should do.
Yeah.
I never watched a trailer.
That's what a trailer should do.
I didn't watch a trailer.
But it just works specifically so well with the movie because that opening scene is so good, too. It just does that. It's like its own separate thing, and then it's everything else. It's a prologue within its own movie.
Yes, exactly. And it's so
crazy.
amazing. And what was I talking about again?
You were talking about...
Suzume being the...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Sota is like...
the chairman.
Again, like, Sota is this... Again, like, this device for Suzume. He's not part of the story, in a way, right?
Yeah.
And it's... I don't know. I find that really amazing because, like, in Your Name, you have Taki and Mitsuha.
Both sides.
Yeah, it's literally directly connected. And then you have
our boy.
Weather with You with
our boy and our girl.
Yeah.
Boy and girl.
Rain Girl and boy who has ideas for Rain Girl.
Yeah. And they're directly connected. And then here in Suzume, they're directly connected in a way that Sato starts the journey for her. Sota.
Yeah.
You are...
His name is so...
You're
I'm like confusing it because like in Pokemon there's Satoshi. Because we were just talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
And I just saw a clip about that, like they talking about it.
But it was really cool because like basically the whole opening sequence was like leading up to like her seeing what he does, and then her having to take up that mantle because he can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And her feeling responsible for it.
Yeah.
Because
She was
didn't
like
know.
she was kind of the fault of that in a way.
And it's so interesting because you don't, as you're watching the film, that responsibility fades away and it turns into something like she's doing it for him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not because she feels bad for him, but because she understands that she wants to be a part of his life and he is directly tied to her in a very special way, which she understands from the very beginning of the film, by the way. And at the end of the film,
right,
we get to see
like,
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, "Why have I seen this?"
Which is why,
we
again,
met before.
yeah, which is so good because I was like, what the hell is that line, you know?
Yeah.
And then I totally forgot about it until the very end of the movie where it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's so good.
He's
but
there.
like, dialogue is
Yeah.
so good.
I love how they. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Keep
Yeah.
going.
It's
The
just
dialogue.
like it's something that anime. My favorite thing in anime does. It just like makes a passing line that no one should care about. Like literally, no one cares about. But then you suddenly remember. Bam! Like that, on like the moment it counts, and we're like, "Oh my god, it's so good."
Oh my god,
It's like working out a puzzle.
It's crazy. It's also like everything is just clicks at the end, and they also never said, and like her trauma is directly connected to her mom, but they never specifically said what happened.
Yeah.
Because the whole time I thought her mom was a closer, which is what Sota was.
Yeah.
People who close doors to prevent the worm from escaping. And the worm's like an entity that lays beneath
Intergenerational
trying to
job.
wake up. And I thought her mom was a closer.
Oh, that
Like,
that would
especially in the
explain.
beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Mom," and then we're all like, "Oh, damn! I guess that's her mom."
Yeah.
But
I had a different take on that.
should we?
Yeah. I had thought something different. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah.
I want to bring that up later.
Yeah.
Like her
Is
mom,
that-
like having an ambiguous ending, because
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about that one.
Yeah,
I have a lot of
we have a
things
lot
to
to
say
say
about
about
that. Okay.
this movie in general. Let's be real.
I do have one scene I really, really want to discuss.
Yeah.
But it's when she gets to her house. But
Uh,
we can discuss that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's
That's
take
what-
it.
yeah.
So, anything about Chika or the school or Kobe that you guys want to speak on?
Oh, honestly, okay. So like the main problems with most Shinkai films, in my opinion, right, and why I love Weathering with You like so much compared to Your Name is that the side characters get dicked on.
Yeah.
Like some of them are just completely, utterly like shit.
Yeah,
I hate them. Right,
Okay,
they're boring.
That's what makes me sad
Yeah,
because the
that's
dude
true.
who's interested in her aunt.
Yeah, I feel bad.
But
Yeah.
but here's the thing. Suzume makes great side characters.
No, they carry part of
Like
the
even
story.
that guy who like the aunt has character, and there's like so much like
so are we talking about
Yeah.
Minoru?
yeah, Minoru, but there's also like Chika and the
Sarazawa.
others.
Sarazawa.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people can relate to Minoru, where like no, okay, except for this guy, okay,
Careful there, buddy.
because like
Yeah, I know.
we're
Yeah,
too
yeah,
afraid to like take action, right? Like
Yeah.
he says, "I'll take the day off," and then she says, "No, don't take the day off.
You need to
You,
work.
you have work," and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
Okay.
But like in anime, you kind of expect him to be like, "No, I'll go with you," right?
Yeah.
But it's like Minoru is so grounded in this real like unrequited love story, and it's like it's kind of interesting, right, to see
Yeah.
it in that way. And like it really could have been another story, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And I mean, like I recently read a manga that kind of like talked about that, so like it's kind of like oh my god.
everything's clicking.
Yeah, but like you know,
Biggest
it's so sad when like people, you know, you want to take initiative but you never do.
Yeah.
And
don't
Minoru
get
is
to.
that character.
Yes.
Sadly.
Damn.
Yeah.
He has to take the fall.
Yeah.
He's
man.
just always so just,
Yeah.
That's all he
But
says.
like yeah, but also just like the other characters are just so good as well. Let's not forget about
Sarazawa
them too.
is-
I love Sarazawa.
Sarazawa
his
is
whole thing with
amazing.
like, well, he owes me 20,000 yen.
Yeah.
But in the end, he's like,
Mm,
he really just is
Actually-
a softy at heart. He cares about.
yeah.
So tough.
But also like it's more the fact that I owe him, but we're gonna.
Hey,
was
don't,
him.
don't,
It was
he,
him.
he forgot.
but,
He
but
forgot.
also like I really like the mom with the two kids as well, and the two kids.
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
That was just a sweet interaction.
That was cute.
I just don't know like oh yeah again, the
potatoes.
kids with the chair as well is really funny, but it's also like again we just see like again these little lies, but we get to see. In a way,
The world is
I guess it's like the cliche way to say it's like we ask more questions than answers, because it's like this is like I guess a single parent, right? And it's like what happened and how did she find ways to cope with that, live life? Is she doing okay as a hostess?
Yeah.
And it's like, or is she genuinely like really happy with her life right now? It's like all these things, and it's like,
I clicked it. It's Sonder. Do you know Sonder?
no.
It's like that feeling. If you're on a road trip, especially, I get that feeling when I was really young, and it clicked with me, and I'm like, oh my god, we're in a world with people.
Yeah.
It's like when you pass houses and cities, and you look into the window, and you see lights in them, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you
One
live
of
here?
them
Oh,
are
okay.
people leading their
Yeah.
own lives. It's interesting and it's intricate as well.
Yeah. Oh, this actually segues pretty. I just realized this segues pretty perfectly into another thing that was a
I think
focus
I know
for
what you're
Shinkai, and that was family. He really what's it? I think he had a daughter, right, or something. Here,
I have to
the
check
interview
that.
up.
You have to double check
But
your facts.
I do have a,
Will you say something
what's
about
it?
them? Fact
But
check.
yeah, as you're looking that up, yeah. I mean, that's the one thing that fascinated me, right? Because I'm in a script writing class, and I recommended this to my teacher, because that's like our assignment, or like that's how we get attendance. We say what movie we watched, and we talk about it, and that's our attendance. And so I basically talked about it, and I was like, yeah, this movie is blah blah blah, this is a masterpiece, right? And
Awesome.
and he kind of like just like, okay, I'll check it out, right? Which is like, yes, dude, please check it out, because this guy doesn't watch anime at all. I know that for sure, right? And so, and like he's a script writer, so it's interesting to see like his take on it, especially like coming from American film media to Japanese animation media, right? And seeing how those scripts kind of like both are similar but also clash, comparing and contrasting, right?
I have something a little
Oh my God.
tidbit is attached to that. I watched the first time I watched it with two different friends who are much more in Western media, and they liked it. I don't think they connected with it as much as I did, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it. I think one comment that stood out for me from one of them was that he was like, Japanese media is so much different than what I'm used to. Usually at that one part when she was on the ferry, when she says my heart is pounding, they said that they were like, oh, like I'm usually used to media just showing that her heart's pounding instead of her vocally saying the line.
Expressing.
I think that's also the one thing, is that anime does, one, monologues for some reason, and two, say their feelings a lot.
A lot. Compared to...
Because, okay, and it's not a bad thing because it
Yeah.
works, right?
Mhm.
Because, like, think about the amount of times where a character is just like, God, I'm injured so much, like in their head,
Yeah.
Or like when it's like a love story, it's just like, oh my god, he's so cute, and like, but like they're not
Yeah.
actually saying it, right?
It's internal.
Or like if you watch Hardy, which is what we talked about,
Oh my-
Yeah.
Kyung's monologues just go off,
Yeah.
I
like-
love that.
and it's like, how do they do that?
Crispin
You know?
Freeman, good shit.
So I think it's interesting in that sort of way, and because like, and this is why I want to talk about, where like a lot of anime scripts kind of say it up front,
Yeah.
but do it in a way that's like so not upfront.
It's like, because I know there's that whole school of thought about show don't tell,
Yes.
which is like, obviously if we're looking at it very cut dry, the script is telling.
Yeah.
But for some reason it doesn't feel like it takes away from it.
No, which is why again, like I want to touch on the script, because like second time rewatching it, like I'm noticing these things in the script, right? But I'm just like, it works in the whole scheme of the film, right? But like, and then I'm thinking about like my teacher. How is he gonna look at the script, right? Will he say it's bad, or will he say it's good, in like in a different way? Because I believe that this is like a really strong script. Like, I mean, obviously it is, right? If it's like a 10 out of 10 film, right? But like it's interesting to see those little things, and I think again, like the little like the bath scene where Suzume's with Chika, like that is just raw, real dialogue that feels so.
Yeah.
Japanese girls.
I just
And it's just funny.
I just remembered as well. Like okay, so I found this.
Finish looking it up.
He so I mean, there's a lot to look up, and this goes a little bit actually into the aunt as well, but we'll talk about that
Oh
later.
god.
But
Dude,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
they love how they address the adopted parents.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll address that in a bit.
We'll get to that.
Here's an interesting thing. Shinkai said he wasn't sure why he presented the film's female characters the way he did. However, he speculated that he felt subconsciously that Suzume needed to meet vulnerable members of society, people who might suffer, especially in in disasters such as a single mother and a schoolgirl working at an inn. That's a crazy thing to subconsciously think about, I will say. And it really comes down to the fact that this was also not only a movie about trauma, but also about disaster as well, which is like, it's like this thing that he's been focused on for the past 2 other movies now coming more into fruition with what he wants to say about it.
And I think again, like, to have that subconscious thought is one crazy person to have, right?
Yeah.
But it's also like, because we often see, like, especially in Western media, like, you know, the classic mother, father, you know.
Yeah, nuclear family.
Nuclear family. And if not the nuclear family, it's like, you know, like, why am I blanking out? Like, you know, like, evolving from the nuclear family, right?
Yeah, right, okay.
And, like, you know, like, instead of, like, the mom's at home doing the cook work, it's the mom's on the grand set, you know, and the dad's, you know, just at home, you know?
Yeah,
stuff like that, right?
Okay, right, okay.
I'm forgetting.
So breaking from family traditions, but
right?
not breaking from family traditions all the way. Yeah.
Stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then this comes in and says, hey, we're going to look at single families, right?
Yeah.
And that is like, because those are 2 different lives that obviously, like, we don't understand.
Yeah,
right. But other people might, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's so awesome to have a look into that viewpoint, because it's like, it's hard for them. Yes. Mm-hmm. But they don't show it to be hard, right? Which is the amazing thing, where it's just like, you know it's hard for them, and you know how much they have to work, but they never show that they're like, you know, I have to work so hard, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so when we do get to that aunt scene, right, in the car, it's like
so raw.
It's so raw, and and that's why Suzume cries, right?
Yeah.
Not because she does realize what she has done, right?
But it's also, like, inherently not her fault.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also the fact that, like, they don't complain about it because there's nothing to complain about. You know?
Yeah, right,
Yeah, it's such as, like, you know? It's like, this is kind of going off topic, but it's in Mama Haha, where, like, the main guy, right? Why am I forgetting his name? The main guy lost the mother, right? And then everyone was, like, sympathetic, you know, like, oh, poor child, you know, you must feel sad that you lost the mother, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't know what life was with a mother, so he doesn't understand, like, why people are being sad for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
And this is, like, you know, kind of replying with the same thing, and I think that's such a cool thing to tell, right? Because like, some people don't understand what they're missing, and then we sympathize with them without ever, like, asking, you know,
why do we?
If they're actually okay. We just assume that they're not.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, this is kind of the same story where it's just like, they're okay, but they're not okay, you know? It's complicated, but I think it's
very complicated. Yes.
Anyways.
But yeah, I think we can start moving forward, right? Unless we have something else to say.
I mean, I would like to move into that one conversation between Suzume and her aunt.
Oh, do you not want to talk about Tokyo first?
We can talk about the car first.
Which one is Tokyo? Oh, no, you're right. The car?
Well, like, when, like...
The road trip?
When Suzume and the aunt are talking, because they're in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like,
I mean, but yeah.
No, that comes after Tokyo.
Yeah, that comes after
Tokyo. I mean, we can, like, skip.
So, yeah, do we want to do that?
We want to...
No, I think it ties in. We have to talk about Tokyo first.
Okay.
Let's talk about Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, because you wanted to mention that, too.
Actual despair.
Oh, yeah.
Legit despair.
Yeah.
The fact that the worm escaped, and Sota... We see where the worm's coming from inside the metro tunnel.
Yeah, it's like no shot.
And then he said, like, the last pillar fell.
Yeah.
So wait, we should probably explain that.
Right. No, there's a whole. Okay.
Yeah, we're world building the cat.
More world building thing. Okay. Insane. I love how authentic they made it. Like. Feel like obviously this myth existed.
Ancient like
It's like you said you wanted to talk about Sota's room, right?
Oh,
because you also.
Oh my god, I love. Okay, that room is very cozy. I like it. It was just like it was just
something. It's funny because she comes in and then Suzume, and then she's like, "Oh my god, you're a college student? What the freak?"
Wait a minute. You're a
you do
university.
closing for the like. You're a closer for like your main job. He's like, that doesn't make money. What are you
You don't
talking
make no
about?"
money. I want to be a teacher.
And then it's the whole scene where they took out the books, and it was like talking about how the worm is held down by two pillars.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, represented by
Generally,
two cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the pillar location changes every time.
Every generation.
And Suzume unsealed one.
Unknowingly unsealed
Unsealed
one.
She just
one.
yoinked it. She's
And
like,
no,
no.
it's a seal
I know
on
you
a
guys got
specific-
jump scared when the cat was in her hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Barbie.
The sound design on that was so amazing.
It's like,
Yeah.
and then what is it? It was just so the cat was like a main key. Like obviously, the
Keystone.
really cool thing about the cat or Daijin.
Daijin, yeah.
Daijin, the white cat, the west pillar of the west, the west pillar.
Sadaijin.
Nishi Hashira or something. I don't know.
Hashira.
Nishi's west.
Pillar.
Hashira. And then it's the fact that we were tricked into hating.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
wanna talk about this. I still don't understand the motive behind Daijin and Sadaijin.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay.
For me, the way I understood it was that it was more of Daijin wanted to live a life as a pet that was loved. Because I think like they don't go into it, but I'm inferring that
It's implied, yeah.
I'm inferring that Daijin and Daijin were sacrificial animals who became pillars.
Oh,
Or gods
have
who
a
like
choice.
chose to become pillars.
Yeah.
Because they are gods in this world.
Yeah.
And I think it was just like
Over time.
Daijin just wanted to not continue it because they did talk about Sota and his experience with becoming
Yeah,
a pillar and how
yeah.
he was like sitting in front of a door. And it was scary because I feel like this is like
God, that visual was
okay.
so good.
I may be overreaching, but I feel like this is something how sometimes coma is being represented in media. The sinking feeling and not being. It reminded me of Get Out.
Oh, yeah.
I
It
need to-
did,
I
yeah.
need to watch
It
that
did
movie.
remind me of Get Out. Yeah, I just
The
realized.
fact that
Oh, that's
it's
so
the fact
fucked.
when he went
yeah.
to sleep. He said that he was
wasn't even
sinking deeper.
Sinking
deeper.
deeper in the motif
What's
of
even-
him.
you know what's
like,
even
oh my
worse?
God, I hate that.
Suzume interpreted that as him sleeping. He was just slipping out of consciousness, just sinking
He was sinking, and then she was the one that woke him up.
Yeah.
every time.
But I guess that's like
Oh,
the feeling of just like that's Daijin and Daijin probably just had. They're sitting in front of a door and making sure that the worm doesn't come.
Yeah.
Well, Daijin's probably just fighting it the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with
Throwing
the
hands.
it's like it reminded me a bit of Norse mythology too. It's like an ongoing battle of like the two wolves chasing the sun and the moon or something like that.
that's
It's like ongoing, and it's like something if that cycle is broken. Well, we know what happened.
Yeah.
But basically, that whole scene, they're like talking about like the consequences, especially because we saw them fall, the worm fall for the first time,
Yeah.
and then in the book, it was talking about
A calamity.
the first time it happened in Tokyo, like 100 years ago, like during the World War
World War One, World War Two, yeah.
Yeah, where it like the worm actually fell
Yeah.
in Tokyo, the entire worm,
and
and
took
then it
out
was sealed
Kanto.
away. Yeah,
Took out Kanto region.
the Kanto region.
Yeah,
and then,
which is the Great Kanto earthquake.
and then which oh my god, and then it was what was I going into? It was going into the fact that now that they're both unsealed, it was just insane.
Oh shit! It's running out of batteries.
Oh, okay.
It's not good.
Hold on.
Oh.
Quick break.
Break! Time out!
And we're back.
Yeah.
Hi.
Technical difficulty solved.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Okay, yeah, I was okay. So anyway,
Tokyo.
I was going into the
Tokyo.
whole story,
Tokyo.
and that was the first time we see the act of blotting out information.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Is it really?
Yes. Oh no, okay. There was, blotting out actual
yeah.
information because we had flashback of Suzume just
Yeah.
coloring, but we didn't know why.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we see something
Yeah.
being blotted out.
Yeah.
And usually, we only hear it. Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I think we see it once, but then the rest of the time we only hear her like the script.
Yeah.
I want
That's one scene I want to talk about specifically because I had a very strong emotion in that scene. But then that whole Tokyo scene is very much like daily life, and the music hits.
Yeah.
The music hits. It's like very calm. Like everyone's going about their life. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then the warm.
And then the girl,
Yeah,
the girl starts flying in the air.
Oh yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah, that was trippy.
Yeah.
The amount of people that have videos about walking chairs and like a girl flying in the air.
Yo, Boston Dynamics dog.
Dude,
Oh.
okay, what I love about the Tokyo scene is that, like, we see her go up in the air, right? And then it's calm.
Yeah.
And then we zoom into a raven and we see the red. And then we go into his eyes and then...
Bam.
Boom, like
yeah.
that. Boom.
Oh, it's
Which
so
you know what's
good.
great?
Yeah.
I also noticed this too. Like, you know how everyone talks about the birds, right? I also remembered the reflection in the water, the glimmer of the buildings.
The forever.
Oh
After.
yeah.
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 Oh, dude, what I fucking loved is, because in the OST, there's like a little digital, like, kind of
I
type of
know
vibe.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And in the buildings, we get to see that, like, kind of pattern, right, through the windows, and that is just, oh, mwah. It's like, oh, that's so cool that they, like,
Oh my
synced
God.
it up with the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Details.
whole the cut of everyone just living their life in Tokyo,
Mhm.
and then,
And then I feel like that's the part where everyone hated Daijin.
Yeah, I know.
Because Daijin's like, what?
He's
what are
just
you gonna
egging
do?
him on.
What
Yeah,
are
he's
you
just
gonna
egging
do?
us on. It's like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
People are gonna die.
People are gonna die. It's like, shut the fuck up.
you know what's worse is like the fact that like it's like you still don't get it, don't you?
Yeah.
You're the keystone
Yeah.
now.
He
Yeah.
realized,
bye-bye.
he was like, shit.
And the thing is that, like, Suzume doesn't really hear that because Daijin is whispering it to
Yeah.
Sota. And so
And then
she
he's
doesn't realize until, like, she has to come to that realization
Yeah.
midway before everyone dies.
Like literally last second before everyone's
Millions
dead.
of people will die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the part where after she stabs it to save people, it's like she's gonna lose Sota forever, but at the same time, she saved millions of people.
Yeah.
It was like
That
a
big-
decision that was extremely hard, but she took it.
Yeah.
And the part where she's falling and the song just goes.
Oh yeah. Oh, so good.
oh, it's
And then
so...
she fell down into like where the actual gate was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is like super cool because they're like, oh yeah, no way they would have found it because
Yeah.
it's like an ancient. It's like a gate from 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That was somehow built on top of, which is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Well, I
bruh,
mean, you could have just said that, like, the earthquake kind of, like...
toppled the gate.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's just, and then what is it?
Oh, and then the
That's-
interaction with Daijin right there. Oh, dude, it's always so sad to see those moments because like
He's
it's just like
straight.
yeah, it's like oh shit,
Dude.
we hate him, but also like
No.
god damn it.
No.
Dude, no, what's the scariest thing to me is that, like, Suzume almost, like, kills millions of people, right?
Yeah.
But decides not to. And in that exact moment, she has the decision to kill one cat. But
Oh.
doesn't do it.
Oh.
And her screaming, that desperation, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? We're just, oh, it's
Dude.
so...
I got
visceral.
chills when you said like she got that one decision to kill one cat. Dude, I got chills from that. Oh.
Dude, it's so...
I had someone audibly gasp when she
Yeah.
picked up the cat.
Yeah,
She
it's...
went,
Oh.
She was like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
cat like
oh.
not the cat was not like Daijin was not like was like confused like what's wrong?
Dude, that
What
is
do you
like
mean?
gut wrenching. Oh,
Oh.
I love it, but I hate it so much.
And then that whole sequence afterward where she's going back to his apartment.
Dude, the readying montage.
She meets his grandfather.
The grandpa.
first.
Yeah, the grandfather.
And the
yeah.
grandfather, the whole thing, he's like part of like,
Yeah, my
what are you
grandson
doing?
sucks.
Are you putting his sacrifice to waste?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But then
So,
she
you're-
expresses. That's the part where she expresses where she needs him,
Yeah.
and I guess that ties into like the whole trauma and how he's like the gateway.
Yeah,
to
that's true.
understanding her
Yeah,
trauma.
very true.
And then it also connects to her childhood because the opening scene is her in the forever after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she realized that that door from her hometown was the only place where she can go to forever after,
Mhm.
where she supposedly saw her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the amazing thing is that, like, every time we hear her say, like, I'm not afraid to die, and then we don't hear if Sota is afraid to die.
Oh,
And then at the
that's
very
true.
end, they both-
Before he froze.
Yeah,
he
he's
says,
like-
"I don't want."
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
die.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
and then that comes back at the I think at the very end
When she
where
picks him up.
Yeah, when she tries to free him, and she says like, "I am afraid to die," and that is like,
Yeah.
you're already this far, and now you're saying that you're afraid to die. It's like, how much have you actually been like blocking that?
Yeah,
like,
holding back. Yeah.
That just, oh my god. And that leads into getting ready montage.
Yeah.
Plays the first time the theme actually plays. Second time, the title scene, and then this time it plays, and she's getting ready, and then my boy Serizawa.
Yeah. Dude, and here begins the best part of the movie. It's music!
I love it. He has my music taste, so he's awesome.
Yeah.
But then that's where she runs to the aunt.
Yeah.
And then it's like, funny montage, video.
It's okay, let's not undersell it. It is hilarious.
I
The
love
whole
it.
interaction is hilarious.
Serizawa was just
Because he's a real one, because he was like, let's go, I want to save Sultan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, sure. He's like, you gotta go
This
where
guy
it
owes
is,
me
right?
money.
You know, sure.
Dude,
fuck
and
it.
the funny thing, right, is that like you get into this like intense drama, and then you go to Serizawa, it's just like music,
No. That's true. He's just like there's just this tension between Suzume and
The aunt.
Tamaki, I think. Tamaki and Suzume have this tension, and it's just Serizawa there's
he's
like
a foil, he's just there to
he's just like, y'all got some serious problems, y'all.
It's
Let's play
like-
some music.
Yeah.
I love that every time we cut to him, it's just like there's an awkward pause of like silence, and it's Serizawa's just like, thanks for the food, and then boom, he eats the food.
But that gas station.
The gas station scene is so
I mean,
fucking
that's
good.
where we meet Sadaijin.
Yeah.
And Sadaijin was responsible for
Yeah.
like what happened, but it was just like the aunt Tamaki's like all her thoughts and like frustration comes pouring out.
Mm-hmm. Want to know you want another Shinkai fun fact?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Alright.
Bless us with that.
Disarmingly, Shinkai confessed during the Q&A that the character he felt closest to was Suzume's aunt, and that her most shocking outburst reflected the director's feelings for his 12-year-old daughter. But then, Suzume's aunt says, "It's not just that," Shinkai said. "There are lots of other feelings she has towards Suzume, and that kind of overlaps with the way I feel. Because much of Suzume's production occurred during COVID-19, Shinkai often communicated with the staff from his home, and his daughter was watching. She was always saying, 'Is it ready yet? Is it still not ready yet?' Shinkai remembered before adding in English, 'It was so annoying.' But it was well worth it when the film was finished. She went to the cinema," Shinkai said, "and watched Suzume, and the first thing she said after she watched it was, 'Daddy, can I watch it again?' Unfortunately, children are not allowed into Japanese cinemas after 9 o'clock, so she couldn't see it again. But it seems she realized just what a great film her daddy had been making, and she was proud of that."
Oh, that's so wholesome.
Yeah.
It was just that's the whole thing though, where the aunt took up the mantle as her mother,
Yeah.
and actually at the same time in the sheer moment said that you're my daughter now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a very brave thing to do. Single moms, and especially people who adopts,
Yeah.
are amazing people. People like good parents.
Good. Yeah.
Good adopted parents. That's hard.
That's a
It's just a
very
disconnect that's there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really speak much on it because obviously I'm
no.
not an
Yeah.
adopted
Can't.
parent.
Yeah.
But like knowing the stories and seeing people like what they do in comparison to what we can't, it's like
Yeah.
it's a very brave thing to do and also very admirable. I think.
Yeah, and I think especially that line like "You're my daughter," and then Suzume like going back and saying how like I think she said something along the like I didn't have a
I didn't have a
I
choice.
didn't have a choice. Oh,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
is like oh my god, it's like wow,
Ouch.
it's just a wow moment.
Yeah.
Like
And it's such a valid feeling from the aunt too, because later
Yeah.
on she apologizes. Suzume
Yeah,
apologizes.
because it's like
Yeah.
it's like deep down they feel that, but like also they're deep down there are way other more emotions,
It's not
specifically
just
love.
that
it's not
Yeah.
black and white.
Yeah, not at all. Like this is not like her secret desire. This is just what she occasionally feels, right?
And in
It's
that
again what
moment,
she
it
guys
was
says. Yeah,
amplified,
my
yeah.
daughter's being annoying right now, but like yeah, of course they love each other and
You don't.
yeah, it's like
And that leads me to, because they were journeying together, that beautiful scene where the aunt was biking her to her place and apologizes, and they kind of make up because
Yeah.
she's like, there's so many more things I feel about you.
Mhm,
That's
yes,
not the
absolutely.
only thing I feel about you.
Absolutely.
Which is so valid.
It is the best. I think it was a great reconciliation right
It
there.
is.
Also,
And-
they're just accepting like, so what are these cats? Oh no, they're gods.
Oh,
They're
I
gods.
think at that
They're
point she was-
gods.
They're
I think at that
gods.
point she was just like,
Okay.
tired. She was done.
He's like, you know what?
And
This
then
is for you.
the finale.
Oh.
But also, real quick, a really cool reference back to the Fukushima disaster as well.
Yes, where they were driving and there was a lot of contaminated dirt
Mm-hmm.
from trucks that are
Dude,
I was like wondering, like, wait.
Fukushima. That whole thing with the beach, and then you see in the distance a power plant.
Yeah.
That was literally
didn't-
Fukushima.
That's
Dude,
like again,
what's-
his
okay.
obsession over disasters is fucking awesome.
Okay, I will say
like that's a
this.
horrible
I
thing
don't-
to say,
I don't-
but
I don't
it's like
think shit.
the main
Follow on
reason
that.
why I cried at the very last scene was because of the because they never say it's the Fukushima disaster.
yeah,
It's always implied,
it's always implied.
and that's
yes.
what made me cry the most.
Especially for Japanese viewers, they know.
They know. Yeah,
We,
I mean, yeah, like this is a country that suffered 2 nuclear disasters. Like, let's be real here, right? Like, I'm sure it's a very sensitive topic, I imagine, for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a
And
very
then
important one too.
2011, not only tsunami but the Fukushima.
Yeah, I mean, but they also got
Exactly.
nuked. There's
There's
so,
basically a nuclear waste in everything that happened with
Yeah.
the Fukushima.
Mhm.
But when she finally dug up her journal to find out,
God.
it was haunting.
It was genuinely like scary. I think
It was terrifying because we see her blotted out the
A
trauma.
whole,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a whole section.
but it's like that's what probably that disaster felt like too, right?
Like
Like
child.
it's like not only is it like scary us seeing her, blot everything out
Just
and
blanket
but it's
out.
also just probably what was probably felt during the time when the disaster hit, not only for the child but like everyone else, right?
The most haunting scene for me personally was when she turned the page.
And yeah.
Yeah, and then
you see
yeah,
her
that's it, yeah.
depiction of the forever after.
the door.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then
And she said, "I met mommy again. She gave me my chair or something
Yeah.
like that."
Mhm.
God.
And I'm like,
You can't do
No.
this to me.
that's not okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do this.
And
That's-
it was just
yeah.
like I think in that
I
moment
got
that just like
shivers,
juxtaposition of just like a child's inner thought
Mm-hmm.
and like her attempt at like basically
Interpreting
Coping.
what.
coping
Yeah.
with her trauma, and like it's such a traumatic experience that she blocked it out of her mind completely. She
Yeah.
doesn't know what
Mhm.
happened. She just understands that she got the chair from her mom, her cool looking door, and then she doesn't know where her mom went.
Yeah, and then she essentially erased her past, everything before that too.
Yep.
Which is
And I
yeah,
feel like
that's like
Yeah.
funnily
I'm
enough
gonna-
that reflects another fear too, right? Just I guess like forgetting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a genuine fear people have.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to like the idea of like the coma, right?
Yeah,
That we
that's
talked
true.
about.
That's very
Which
true.
is so
yeah.
interesting.
Oh, everything connects. Everything
really
connects.
love- I will always love that montage of Sota's memories because that's how I actually look back on things.
Uh-huh.
Just a snapshot of like him. It's like you said before, the small moments. I love that shot. Which, if you think about it, how that part of their life is so small, but so much of that was a big impact. Sota meeting Suzume when he asked her the question, like I love the snapshot, like how he met Suzume.
Oh,
Do you know
yeah.
of any Rumins here? And then it's
small
just
interaction. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna eat with us, and her like just using him as a stool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fun little things that he does. That's
Yeah.
why.
Mhm.
That's why I just loved. I just really resonate with that part when he's like, "I want to live. I want another moment." And then
Yeah.
I don't know what his words that he says in the finale, with oh, we already know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, "Oh God, divine gods of this land, so and so."
Uh-huh.
But then he adds more after what he's
Oh,
been through.
yeah.
Like, we are literally fighting life and death. It is only a fleeting moment, but we just want to live, even if it's just for a moment.
Yeah.
We want to live once more.
You know, okay, I'm gonna connect it to something.
Yeah. Go.
Howl's Moving Castle and Princess Mononoke.
Mhm.
Literally, Princess Mononoke. The final scene is they're holding up the head of the god, saying,
Oh
"Save
yeah,
us,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
We want to live,"
Mm-hmm.
because they were cursed. They were gonna die.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then there's that whole scene with them after they stab the worm together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That whole scene just reflects after the dear god Princess Mononoke dies, and then the landscape comes back to life.
Mm.
There's that whole scene with when it was on fire, and that was like a
And the
big
water.
callback to Howl's Moving Castle. When in one of the door, it was like
Just
depiction of
burning.
war,
Mhm.
and it's like fire.
Just
and hellscape.
fire.
All right, there's a connection to that. Another Shinkai fun
Oh,
fact.
okay. Okay.
I want to say this before,
Yeah.
but it's also interesting because I talked about Brian, but
Yeah.
I really see Shinkai as like the next Miyazaki.
Yeah.
In a weird way, right? Where like he does use like these disasters, talks about like weather and stuff, in this thematic way. And of course, like they're not like the same person, right?
No.
But like he is like the new generation.
He's
right?
the next one.
There's
Where
also
it's-
Mamoru.
Mambo?
Wolf Children.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Mirai
feel
no
like
Mirai.
he has a whole other aspect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's-
But what were you gonna say?
On Shinkai's infamous Next Miyazaki label, one used earlier this week by the New York Times, Shinkai confessed he got fed up with it and tried to make an entirely different kinds of film from Miyazaki.
I'm sorry. Go on.
That's so funny.
But Shinkai also called Miyazaki his favorite director and confirmed that Suzume includes a musical reference to him.
The last scene was just so much like Princess Mononoke the first time I saw it. I'm sorry. If you watch the ending of Princess Mononoke, literally the fact that the two main characters offer the head of the god and said, "Save us, please. We want to live a moment longer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if the inspiration's there, It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Both movies are great. It's beautiful. And then that leads just.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick because
Oh my god.
hey, fuck you.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
we're back at it.
Yep.
Alright, and it cut it nicely into him coming back. Or
So
something.
okay,
Back.
some context before. So me and Brian, we were watching in the theater, and it was chill, right? There's like a group of like 4 people.
There's 2 people in front of us,
It
and
was
then
just
they
2.
left.
Oh.
Yeah.
They left
Yeah.
halfway. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was late because we watched at 10. The hour's 2 hours, by the way. So we ended at like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Around 12:30.
Yeah, we ended it at midnight.
So yeah, there's that, right? And they left, and so that gave me free reign to like be loud or like laugh a lot,
Yeah.
But most importantly, it gave me the free reign to actually like cry, and, like
Cry.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. There's like different stages. There's like, I teared up,
Yeah.
And then to me, it's like, if you watch the Evergarden movie, I cried.
Dude,
I cried,
I need to take we took walked after that. We had to take a walk.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
And then, this movie, I fucking bawled my eyes out. Like, dude, there's like, there's crying where it's just like, right? This one, I was just like, like actually, like, I was being loud about it.
My man was
I was done.
I wasn't next to you, so I didn't actually know that.
I was.
I knew
hearing
you were
both
crying, but I
was
didn't
hearing
hear
both
you.
sides.
Yeah.
Just tearing up thinking about it.
Yeah, I was on the other
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
And so, but like in the movie theater, right? I'm sitting there, right? And I'm watching the scene. And the only thing going through my mind is don't cry, right? Because like I don't want to, like cry in a movie theater, like
Yeah.
I don't want to be loud,
Yeah.
Too bad.
Um, and so like I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, right?
Yeah.
And I'm reading the subtitles, right?
Yeah.
And then like everything, this is like, and then like I just realized like I just can't, like it's gonna explode and it just blows up,
Let
right?
go.
Let it
And
go.
and the main reason for that, right, is it's a lot of things. One of them, again, like I talked about, is the Fukushima disaster, right?
Mhm.
Where like, and especially when you understand like why it's winter,
Yeah. Mhm.
and it's just like that's
Yeah.
so freaky and so scary, right?
Nuclear winter, right?
Yeah, that the idea of
That's
that
crazy.
nuclear winter, and like her walking through that and not understanding it, right,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
is so scary to me,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And because like the main, it's like, oh, it's winter time, right? And she's just like going through, but no, it's because of that. And like the idea of like, you don't ever get to choose how you die,
Mm.
and it's this idea that you died to something that was really not preventable. Well, I mean, like it was, but like like
Yeah, it was out of your control.
yeah, like you couldn't choose how you died in that moment, like
Mm-hmm.
and especially dying to like a nuclear disaster. That's like so unconceivable to us. Because,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? But then understanding that like someone in your life so close to you died because of like something that not everyone, like no one can relate to that, right?
Mhm.
Or like not most everyone can. And that to me is like the most isolating factor of it, right? And why she feels like she's walking this like lone path.
Oh,
And where that trauma really comes from, right? Where it's just like how do I say that I lost my mom to a nuclear disaster, and you never get to actually see it too. So like it's all assumed, right?
Yeah.
Like you didn't even want your mom to die because of a nuclear disaster,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But
It might also have been like it's either a nuclear because it wasn't explicitly
Yeah.
said, so it might have been the
The-
wave.
Yeah, it might have been the tsunami. Yeah.
Or it might have been like part of the
Yeah.
fallout, but we
Mhm.
never know. We
Exactly.
Yeah.
which is the scariest thing of like you know that these factors is what made your mom disappear, right? But choosing which one to like pinpoint, right, and be like this is like the cause of it is like so freakishly like, and that's where like I love this ambiguous thing, and what really made me cry is that like she doesn't know,
She
dude.
really
Yeah.
doesn't know.
And then when she comes in and she says, she's like Okasa-san, like,
yeah.
and then she comes to Suzume and she's like,
She just
and then Suzume says, I'm not your mom, right? And then she starts yelling, where's my mom, right?
Yeah.
And like,
she's looking for me. She doesn't know where I am.
and the thing that made me cry so much is that she's not saying like, oh, do you know where my mom is? She wears like a purple shirt.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
She's good at cooking. She's
Yeah.
good at woodwork.
No.
And it's those specific things.
Or like she's a nurse, she takes care of people.
Yeah.
it's really good at
Because
making
it doesn't
things.
it doesn't make Suzume mom a person that she's looking for, but a key part of the life that she's living.
Yes. Yes.
She's a mother figure. Like you can't just pin like
Mhm.
it shows how special that is, right? Because anybody can cook, anyone can be good at woodwork, but she's pointing those specific things out because that's what Suzume mom meant to her. Someone
Yeah.
that like helped her, like,
To do
built
Yeah.
a chair for her,
Yeah.
and like it shows.
Dude, now that you're mentioning these things, I'm starting to ball up now
Dude,
too.
and,
Oh,
and it's
God
the fact
damn.
that like, as like I'm older, I understand what these relationships mean
Yes.
to me,
Mhm.
right? Especially if like with you guys, right? Like,
Mhm.
if you guys like disappear, right, on me,
Uh-oh.
like that is like the saddest thing because like there's only the like it's the opposite.
We're all
Like, there's
special
no-
to each other.
Yeah, like there's no replacement for each other, but then putting that into like a scenario where it's just like there is only one of this, right,
Mm-hmm.
and one of you, and you mean something completely different. Like Brian, you mean something
Yeah.
completely different from like Yuan, and my mom means something completely different to my dad, right?
Mhm.
And knowing just like having that snapped away, right?
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
only and like keep in mind this is like the only person that can do this one thing for Suzume is gone.
Yeah.
And there is no last goodbye. There is no like
Yeah.
that was
comes without like
Yeah.
I feel like
wow. That's
there's a-
crazy.
Yeah.
and that's what made me cry so much because like and then Suzume saying that like I'm your tomorrow,
Yeah.
Like, and it's so dark, but you will eventually see
The-
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that
it'll
it
be
just
It's just a bright future.
You'll-
yeah.
I have something else. There's a reason why I cried. It was when she was practically facing her childhood drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's the part where
Mhm.
she says, "I have known this whole time. I
Yes,
just have
yes,
been too
that's-
scared
Yes.
to like."
Mhm.
And she was hugging her, basically consoling her inner child.
Yeah. Right.
And it was just
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, I'm now thinking about it now as well. Like, okay,
It's a
like an
literal-
outer, like another outer reason, like just out of that like sphere. Her aunt probably brought her like literally across the country to get her away from that area too, to like avoid
Well, I
that
think
trauma, right?
I think that's where she lives.
Is it?
I think it's just where she
You
lives.
think? Oh, okay.
I
I
forget.
guess so. I mean, it's also
I don't
in a
know.
way a
No,
metaphor
we,
for it too.
we don't know, but at the same time, she
Yeah.
made the journey back up. She's navigating her
yeah.
trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Basically.
oh my god, it was
So
such
yeah, so
a
like,
good.
even if it isn't, then
Yeah.
it still
Finale.
works that
That's
way
the
too.
worst too.
Yeah.
I like how you guys were like, "Ooh, time loop."
yeah.
It was a time loop, but it was like it's a
No,
really
I
cool
didn't.
way to
I
do
just
it.
stopped. I just stopped about it because
Yeah.
I remember what Sota said. In the ever after, time exists simultaneously.
Yeah,
so
like,
it made sense.
All of them exist simultaneously.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I didn't. And
Again,
I
it's
just,
also-
I just said screw it. I'm
Back
not
to
gonna
like a
think about
previous point I made though.
it. It's a movie.
Again, that the idea that's like, yeah, we just suspend our disbelief automatically. We
Yeah.
don't have to like think about it. It just happens.
I'll think
and we're
about. I
like,
think about
"Holy
it
shit."
later, but not in the moment.
And
Yeah.
and the way they deal with the trauma, I think
Yes.
that scene is so real, right?
Mhm.
Because she comes to terms with it, and it's not like some like, oh, now it's over, now I know, right? It's like, it's still hurting, but I have accepted it, and now I'm going to live through it and with it,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And then I think that giving that to her as a child, I think is what helped her block it, and then again help her go through this journey, right?
Right.
Also, the whole act of her passing the chair
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
over to
And
her.
knowing that the chair was there, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And also another point is that why Soto I think is so important, and why like I come to understand that like yes, it's kind of like minor adult whatever, right?
Mhm.
But it's so understandable because again Soto becomes the chair. He
Yeah.
becomes a part of her memory, and that's like for us that's just like when we first watched this like that's that, right?
Uh-huh,
But then when you
Naturally.
realize that he was there.
Yeah.
He was there in that moment. I think is
He was
like,
present.
Yeah.
and like I mean, of course, like Soto also is thematically a part of Suzume's journey and
Mhm.
part of that memory.
Yeah.
In so many ways, and
Yes.
I think, I mean, we could talk about
All
that all day,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
go watch it. If you're still here and you're like, oh, I don't care about sports, go watch it.
Yeah.
Watch the movie. Form your own opinion.
Yeah.
See how it
I-
resonates with
okay,
you.
man.
I have one more. This is the
Another
last
one going to
Shinkai
Shinkai
fun fact. Let me pull it up real quick. By the way, I'm getting this all from an interview from Anime News Network, but
Okay.
I'm just saying so I have something to source. Let me see. I'm actually in a way I have two, but I gotta find it though. Oh, here we go. So it kind of goes into the point I mentioned earlier about suspensing disbelief and stuff like that. And we talked about a little bit how I know you watch with people who weren't so big on anime and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an interesting thing for him to say. In the film world, the West has set the standard, and I feel like a stranger who's wandered in, Shinkai said. So I think if I'm a stranger anyway, I might as well try to find something local to me, to dig down into the ground where I stand in my own country, where the ground is constantly shaking. If I dig deep, I might find something that can connect to audiences in the West and connect to you. And that is such an interesting thing to say, I think, from Shinkai as well. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I'm starting to realize now, especially with, even with old, artists, like authors and Japanese authors and stuff like that, they're really trying to think of themselves in position with, a worldwide audience, especially when it comes to the West, so America, English-speaking countries and stuff like that. And they're genuinely thinking about the cultural clashes, but also trying to reconcile with that too, which is such an interesting thing, especially about Suzume, because Suzume is pretty, I want to say close to Japanese people, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something that we as Americans don't necessarily relate to, but we could definitely I think he's very successfully elicited the emotions and the story he's trying to tell with it, and especially putting in a fictional setting, give a real part of history to us who have never experienced it, which is again a really beautiful thing that not only Shinkai but anime in general can do, and art in general as well. The other thing is also something that he focuses on, relating to boy meets girl, is the fact that he's using teenage subjects. He makes a really interesting point, I think, where it's he's getting older now, so he's realizing, I want to address more mature things, and you could kind of almost see it, right? From Your Name to Weathering with You to Suzume, things are starting to get more mature and get older as well. So it's also a fascinating reflection on the artists themselves as well, which is why, again, I'm not too big on giving all the credit to an author. Everyone in the staff did such an amazing job. But if we're going for an authorship, Shinkai is definitely a really interesting subject, I think. So, but yeah, I guess that's part of it.
Oh, dude.
So yeah, and that's I guess that's the end of Shinkai's fun facts.
Woohoo!
Alright, well, I
But
think
yeah,
we're at
Suzume,
the
man.
end of our podcast. Go watch it if you haven't. Go watch his other
Yes.
works if you haven't.
Absolutely.
Always strive to learn and find out why you like things, you don't like things. I feel like it's always gets appreciation out of the art that people work on. Ikigai means the reason for being, and for some reason you're listening to four of us speaking for like about an hour and plus about a Shinkai movie.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for watching. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. Thanks for 700
Thank you.
subscribers. I'm on.
Wait.
Signing off.
I'm Kevin. I'm signing off.
I'm Brian, signing out.
Ryan, see you next time.